show business. When he's not playing Pokémon Go, he's playing Pokémon Go. Osric Chau!
I feel like a professor at a university. I can't believe you guys are off on one side.
You know what's funny? You don't look like a professor at a university.
Well, nowadays they all look different. They get to be individuals. They don't have to wear shirts.
All right.
It's not all corduroy jackets anymore, Rich.
Too bad.
Wow, this is so cool.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. I can't believe you guys are all, like, you're taking maybe a third of the stage.
I know.
So for the concert, are you guys gonna spread out? Or are we gonna run around?
We're gonna be back there. Right back there.
My God.
No, it's gonna be awesome, right? It's gonna all be this whole stage.
Yeah, wow, I'm excited.
You're gonna be there.
I am gonna be there. I can totally run around and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm really out of shape, so I'm gonna stay on the chair. I'm gonna stay in the chair.
Take a breather.
Okay.
Gird your loins. Prepare yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, Osric Chau.
Actually, I've been walking more than I've ever walked in my entire life. If you know what this is, you'll know why. For all of you people who did the Gish Whiz, apologies, I didn't realize how hard it was to get a 10-kilometer egg. And then needing to actually walk the 10 kilometers. But congratulations, you did it. Some of you, most of you. And you did it without complaining! No, I heard a lot of it. It has taken over my life completely. I refrained really, really hard from downloading Pokémon Go. I think I got 2 days, and then I'm like, that's stupid. I cannot do that. I know I'm gonna love it. I just can't have that in my life. And then 2 days later, I'm like going online, like how to download in Canada. And then I got it. And it has, I have a really addictive personality. So I think it was maybe the second or third day already. I've been shooting a lot of night shoots, and I found that was like the best time to play because no one else is out there. You know, like once you hit level 5, you can really take down these gyms. And I tweeted it out, but I finished the shoot. It was like 2 a.m. and I just saw this Pokemon gym with like not such a high level gym leaders there. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take that down. But I couldn't just like pull over and get at this gym. If you don't know Pokemon, I apologize. But basically there are these gyms and you can own these gyms, and if you own the gym, then you can get these coins that you would otherwise have to pay for. So I couldn't just pull over and reach the gyms. I had to like turn around into this back alley. And this has happened numerous times where I like end up in a place, I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. And then I look up, I'm like, wow, this is really shady. So this was one of those times. So I'm in this back alleyway, and then I'm fighting this like low-level Snorlax, and then this cop car comes behind me, like turns on the siren. I'm like, oh, okay, right, I should probably park. And so I pull over, hoping that they're gonna go around me, but no, I was the person they were stopping. So they pull up right beside me, roll down the window, they're looking at me. I'm like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I'm like, they're like, what are you doing out here? I'm like, there's this like game, and Pokemon, you've probably heard of it, but there's like a new app, you know, it's kind of going around, and there's like a gym, I don't know what it is, it's maybe the park or that building, and I'm just trying to take it down. And they're like, at 2 a.m.? I'm like, yes, because I just got off work and I saw an opportunity to take down this gym, so I said yes, and I took it. And they're like, we've been trying to download it, how do we, I'm like, yes. So I spent the next 20 minutes trying to teach them how to download it onto the Canadian iTunes. And that was a really good moment. Yes, I did beat the gym. Unfortunately, that just fueled my obsession a little bit. And so, last night I was out till like 4 a.m., just like wandering the streets, just taking down gyms, and so that is my life. And you need, because it's a power drainer, so I always have a battery pack attached to me. Like, the game is on right now because I'm hatching eggs as I walk along this large stage, so by the time I check, I'll probably have 2-kilometer egg hatching. Forgot. This is terrible. So, picking names, picking teams, it's a really tough thing to do. So I read the blurb on all the teams. So you get to pick teams. There's Team Valor, Team Mystic, Team Instinct, red, blue, and yellow. And I read the blurb, and you know, every team leader has like this thing that is their own. And right away I knew I was very much Team Valor. So I'm Team Valor. Because it represents everything that. When I read it, I'm like, that's so Naruto, which is an anime that I absolutely love to watch. Because it's not about being the very best. I mean, yes it is. But it's about not being the very best, training your butt off, and getting to the point where you're the very best, but you have to do it through hard work and perseverance. And that's what Team Valor is about. And I absolutely loved it, so I'm like, right away, I'm like, yes, that is totally me. And here I am. Hatching an egg. Oh, right. We have lines. So sorry. Let's open the Q&A there. Hi.
Hello. How are you?
Good.
It's a really big day for me. I actually just graduated from college.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So my question is for you: what has been your favorite prank, either from Jared or Jensen on set?
Sorry. Favorite
Prank.
Prank. I don't know if you are there favorite. Usually the favorites are the ones that don't happen to you. They're the ones that you get in on, and it's like, oh yeah.
To you or being seen done to someone else?
Favorite prank that I've seen. You know, the best person on set to actually take all of the pranks, and he's incredible because he's such a good sport, is Brad Creaser. He's our first A-camera operator, but he's like the main target. And then there's Misha. But Brad pretty much takes, and he's such a good punching bag, so to speak, in that he does it so well, his face turns really red really quickly with embarrassment or just like getting worked up, but he's like, he always keeps it light, even if it's like, oh my god, that was really bad. He somehow always has this wonderful ability to just keep it light. And so just having Brad on set and being like the butt of almost every joke is just a joy to watch. Probably because I'm mean-spirited deep down, but also because he takes it so well to the point where it's like, oh my god, he's having fun with them. And so I think, and I can't really think of one in particular because there's so many specifically at Brad. I feel like every comment will be able, like they can turn any comment and turn it into like a mean joke about Brad, and Brad just like takes it like all happily or like really flustered but still happy somehow, and that's my favorite thing, is just knowing those characters and how that culture is kind of developed. So I don't know, I can't really think of one in particular. Let's see. I don't know, I saw that video, it kind of looked like it hurt. You know what, probably the simple ones. Like, I'm always really nervous about, like, screwing up on set. So if it's, like, something simple, like them just, like, holding the door and me not being able to open it, like, it's fun, and I don't get yelled at for holding up set. So I think those are my favorite. It happened a lot in the houseboat. Because every time we'd have to open the door, like they just like jam it shut, or they'd hold it, and every time I would think it's my fault. So like that level. I like that level. The problem with this set is that everyone is in on every joke, and so if they're holding up, our shoot, and everyone else knows except for you, myself, then everyone will start blaming me, and it's even worse. And then of course at the very end they're like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. But it's a lot of anxiety to have. So I like the ones where it's a simple joke, where it's just quick. Okay, my favorite, just because I think it just shows how fun Jared is. It was the frying pan. That episode had the frying pan. We had a fake one and a real one. And Jared spent like 20 minutes playing with the frying pan because I chose the real one. And at the end of the 20 minutes, he just tossed it to me. And I freaked out. I was like trying to catch it because I didn't want it to destroy the set. And it turned out to be the rubber one. It made him laugh so hard because I was so freaked out about it. But he spent 20 minutes setting up him playing with a real 20-pound cast iron frying pan, only to switch it off with a rubber one at the very end. It's that kind of thing. Okay, I can appreciate that, Jared. You got me. So I like those ones, because otherwise I just feel like I'm holding everyone up. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to sit down. Actually, it's hard to think and walk at the same time. Hi. This side.
Hi, Osric. I just want to say my friends and I love you, and we're so excited that you're here. I loved having you back on season 11. That was awesome.
It was a nice way to wrap it up. Thank you.
And we're so happy that Kevin is in heaven finally. And so my question is, we know that characters can sometimes meet up in each other's heavens. So if Kevin were to meet up with Bobby, what do you think they would do?
They'd probably drink beer and complain about the injustice. Wait, what do you call them? Idiots? I think the word is idiots. He's like, no, they're idiots. I'm like, I think it's idiots. I think we'd have that conversation too. You're doing something weird with your maybe it's the beard. I don't know. I think we would honestly just drink beer and complain about them. In a loving way. In the way that because you love them so much, you can complain about them. The way that I always complain about my mom, and I always pick on her, but only because I really love her. And if I didn't, I wouldn't. In that way. I was gluing a beard to a mustache earlier, and I just realized that I have super glue stuck on my fingers, and it's feeling really strange. That's what she said. She said I was gluing a mustache to a beard, and I got super glue. My fingers are numb. Yeah. What would you think Kevin and Bobby are doing? You probably know them more than I do.
Well, I think they're pretty different personalities. So I think Kevin would try to teach Bobby something really smart, and Bobby'd be like, no, let's go hunt something. And they'd conflict over that. They'd have to figure out how to coexist together.
And then Kevin would show Bobby's oh my god, let's go hunting. Let's find the Mew. It's probably up in heaven. Mew is probably up in heaven. Okay. Okay. Hi.
Hi. Will you go to prom with me?
I don't think I even went to my own prom.
First for everything.
You're right, there is a first. Is it here? Is it prom over?
Talking about next year. I'm planning in advance.
Actually, I got a really... Speaking of prom, I was nominated for a Leo Award this year, and this is a crazy story, but basically I decided I was going to wear a dress, and I was trying on dresses with a bunch of girls trying on their prom dresses. That was a nice moment. Have you picked out your dress already?
No.
No?
I mean, I can right now.
I mean...
There's Amazon.
Have you thought of making your own dress?
I might cut my finger open doing that.
No, okay. There's like the, what was it, the duct tape competition? Where you make like the best duct tape dress you could possibly make. I always wanted to do that.
Okay.
If I can go to the prom, maybe I'll do that. I'll make a duct tape dress for myself. Prom. That I recently played a high school character, and I turned 30 during that same time. And it's not that I'm, that it was that weird. It was just weird that all the other actors were also very young as well. And I don't know. I feel like I should probably surround myself with college-aged people so I can at least pretend like I'm at that age, and then I can eventually play those characters. Slowly try to remove myself away from the high school mentality. I'm tempted though, prom. I've never been to an American prom. I feel like in Canada we don't put as much importance on prom as you guys do. Like homecoming, I didn't know that was a real thing. And apparently that's a really big deal too. And you guys have like winter formal or something? Yeah, we don't have any of that. We have school dances, and they're themed. It's kind of like karaoke. I'm tempted. Maybe we'll see. I can't plan that far ahead. If I go, I'll be like the chaperone probably, and I'll let one of the parents go home early, and I'll watch kids try to sneak booze into the dance. Prom, wow, that brings me back. Hello.
Hi, Osric. I just want to say happy birthday. It's a little late, but
Thank
happy
you.
birthday.
Thank you.
Also, I was wondering, what's the biggest, most influential thing you've learned from being on Supernatural?
That biggest, most influential thing. Let's see, it's been 2000. It's been 4 years since I've been on the show. I was 26 when it started. I think the biggest thing that I have learned in these 4 years is that you don't have to have superpowers to be a superhero. That Uncle Ben, what he said, with great responsibility, with great power comes great responsibility. And never has that rung more true than it does today. That if you have influence over even your best friend, that is a responsibility. If you have influence over your family, that is a responsibility. That is a power, therefore a responsibility. Being in a position of influence and power on the stage, I've learned that, something as simple as going to prom could mean a lot to someone, and that puts you in a position of responsibility and that you can do something, and which is something I absolutely love about hanging out with these guys, because we're always trying to do more, trying to help out, support charities, talking to you guys and really getting that feedback. And it's, I think that's the biggest lesson that I learned, because I grew up idolizing these heroes, these superheroes, and that's what I always wanted to be, and lo and behold, I could have been that all along. So I think that's probably the biggest thing I've learned. Hi.
What is your favorite Pokemon?
Favorite is such a hard thing for me to answer. It would have to be like the original 3 starting Pokemon. I don't even know if I would. If I had to choose, Charmander. Only because it was the first one I ever picked when I first played Pokemon Red. Way back. But that's very arbitrary. And it just happened to be like the easiest one, and so I felt really strong with it, because you're fighting a lot of grass types and you have fire, so huge advantage. But the original in their basic form, I I think Charizard's the only one of like the evolved forms that I really like, but only because the card was worth so much money at the time. The shiny holographic Charizard was worth a lot of money when I was in grade 7. And that was the prized possession. But yeah, probably the original 3. Like, as soon as, after Mew came out, like, that was it for me. I feel like the design never, like, the quality of the designs never quite got there after the original 151. It never, I mean, there's a couple that, you know, like Umbreon is really cool. I like everything that I've seen of that, but like, most of the designs aren't that good anymore. You know, they're just like throwing everything, like Speakermon, you know? It's like, pick an inanimate object and then turn it into a Pokemon. I feel like they're kind of at that point where there's just so many of them, and they're just trying so hard to come up with new things that it's just like, that's just a seal with a hula hoop. You know, so it would definitely be the original 151, probably the original starting 3, which I refused to evolve for the longest time until I realized that they're much stronger if you do. Unfortunately. Even Pikachu, you have to evolve into Raichu to be stronger. They should have like some sort of thing where you can keep a Pikachu and still be strong. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so, well, this is the 3rd time I've been up here today. So Jared has said that you have only beat him up once, but I think it's more than that because you're a ninja god.
Yeah, why? Well, one, we don't fight that often. Yeah, you know what? Jared has beat me up a lot, and not in that sense, in that he's really good at Super Smash Brothers. And his character of choice is Pikachu, which N64 version, which is just super unbalanced, and that's the only character he plays with, and he's like near perfect with Pikachu, so gotta hand it to that guy. He beat me. Yeah, we've only just fought the one time, and then we learned our lesson. You're welcome. Hi.
Hey.
Sorry, forgot how to speak English. I wanted to ask you, what was your most awkward or disturbing encounter with a fan?
Awkward or... I don't know. It's, I thought initially before this, like, as I was discovering this whole thing, I thought it would be way worse than it has ever gotten. You know, I'm really fortunate, like, with the supernatural community. You guys are amazing. Like, there's not one encounter that has come across like, whoa, that is literally crazy to the point where I have to remove myself and, you know, and completely avoid. And I think, it comes down, I see this a lot, but I think anything always comes down to communication, and just, you know, being able to say, hey, this is my side, that's your side, or you tell me your side, and then kind of have to find that thing. And because we have this ongoing dialogue constantly with the fans of the show, I feel like as cast members on the show, we have a better understanding than our fandom than a lot of actors ever get the chance to do. And I think that really helps. And that when we see you guys doing something like super crazy, so to speak, it's like, well, that's just Gishwins. They're just this thing. It's like, oh yeah, no, that's because they just really like that thing, you know. And for us, it's not that weird anymore. Maybe because we're desensitized, but because we're subjected to it all the time. I don't know. I feel like everything you guys do, I'm like, yeah, there's a part of me at some certain time that I would probably do that same thing, you know. So I don't know. I've not really had something where I'm like, okay, that is so beyond reasonable. So I've been very fortunate for that. Probably, maybe not. But no, I haven't. Please don't be the exception. Yeah, I'm sure you. Sure. Hi.
Hi. I was wondering what your favorite episode was.
What episode was?
what your favorite episode was.
Oh, favorite episode. It's probably the introduction for Kevin Tran, because a couple things. One, I haven't seen most of the episodes on the show. That's a big one. But it was also like in terms of filming and just like watching it. That show kind of changed. That episode changed my life. One, it was Kevin Tran wasn't supposed to survive this long. It was like 2-3 episodes and he was gonna die. I got a chance to work with Ben Edlund, and I love Ben, and he directed that episode. And him not, being a new director and me coming in, it was kind of cool because we're kind of in the same spot where we're like, okay, we kind of know what we're doing, but we're unsure. And the first day, was when I met Jared, and we shot like most of the scenes. We shot all of his coverage, and then on the last shot, he got a call that his wife was in labor and he was going to be a dad, and he asked me permission to go see his kid. I'm like, yes, of course, go. But I mean, a true testament to Jared, being a gentleman. Like a lot of it, you don't have to stay for someone else's coverage as an actor, and certainly someone who's been on the show for that long, you don't have to, and a lot of people don't. But Jared does, even when he would have, even on the moment he was going to be a father. So it was just really special for that episode, and of course it changed everything. And Kevin Tran just being painted as the most stereotypical Asian character. I had huge issues with it. I wasn't going to do it because of that, but they didn't kill him. They developed him. Yes, he is all those things, but we had time to really dive into all the other things that he was too. And I absolutely loved it. And because of it, reading is so fundamental to Kevin's character. So that is my favorite episode.
My question is, if you could play any other character on Supernatural, what character would you choose?
Oh, Crowley, easy.
Yeah!
I think Crowley gets, Crowley or Dean, but more Crowley because I would have a really good British accent by now. And he gets all the fun one-liners. Sometimes he's good, sometimes he's bad, but he's always for Crowley. I just feel like he gets such fun scenes, and that's the only way you can really write Crowley, is that he's just all in it for himself, and he gets to do pretty much everything because of that. He doesn't have an agenda that is beyond himself, and so he gets to do everything. And I absolutely love that. Yeah, Crowley.
Thank you.
Crowley. Crowley. Hi.
Hi, Osric. Okay, so you like to do a lot of dress up, and I think one of your most recents, you wore this gorgeous black dress and looked completely amazing. And I was wondering if you have any advice to how to be comfortable with yourself, because a lot of people won't be that bold, and they'll hide who they truly are.
Okay, I'll tell you the rest of that story. So, when I was trying on the dresses with the girls at prom, it was for that dress. And here's the story. So I got nominated for this Leo Award, and this is a big thing for me. That's the award that I grew up watching. I didn't really know the Oscars because I wasn't really involved in TV or film, but that's the one that I read in the local papers and stuff. And so when I got nominated, it was a really big deal. And so I had this email exchange with my agents, and they said, it's okay, great, and they're talking about another client who also got nominated. It's okay, and he's probably gonna wear Christian Dior or something. And just find something nice. And I'm I totally left all of my suits in LA, and maybe I'll wear a dress instead. And I just said it jokingly in this email, and then he responds do not wear the dress. As soon as I read that, there's just something that clicked in my head. I'm now I have to wear the dress. And so I didn't respond at all, and I just started thinking man, should I wear a dress? It's it's kind of a, you know, it's like a fancy event. It's kind of conservative group of people. They're not used to that thing. I'm like, no. And I basically psyched myself into doing it. I'm like, you have to do the dress now. Like, based on principle. Like, you can't just not do it for reasons of not doing it. So, I found a stylist and told her the idea. She's like, yeah, you can totally rock a dress. And so we just started like brainstorming like ideas on how to do it. And I just kind of like, I'm like, I don't want to make fun of anyone. I'm not trying to make a statement. I just want to wear a dress the same way that sometimes girls wear suits. I'm like, that's it, you know? So we went to the dress shop, and while I'm changing into one of these dresses, I get a call from an agent. I don't know, probably because I didn't respond. And he's like, hold on, I'm conferencing Sarah, like your other agent in LA and your publicist. And so there's like a 3-way conference call in this change room. They're like, Osric, what are you thinking? Like, what do you mean? They're like, Leo Awards, what are you wearing? I'm like, well, currently I'm wearing a dress, but like, I don't know yet. I'm still like trying things on. I'm trying to figure it out. And we had this big discussion about how bad of an idea they thought it was that I would wear a dress. You know, and this entire time, I'm like, I don't understand, like, you guys are super progressive people. Like, this shouldn't be such a big deal. And they kept going, it's like, yes, like, we have no problems with it, but, you know, the people with the money, like, they might not see you as the leading man, which is what we're pushing you for, you know, all these things. I'm like, and I couldn't, like, the more I talked about it, the more it just sounded silly that I shouldn't be able to do it for those reasons. And by the end of that conversation, which was like 45 minutes long, they're like, okay, well, they learned that I was very stubborn. And they're like, okay, like, you're gonna do what you're gonna do. Just know that it's a bad idea. We'll do damage control. I'm like, I don't think you're gonna have to do it. But I'm like, okay. And so I was kind of frazzled, but I'm like, you know what? I have to do this. Like, I just wanted to be part of normalizing it, if anything. That's what I told them. I'm like, my dress. Like, what makes it for females? Like, this dress that I'm looking at right now, I'm like, it kind of fits me like a glove, right? I'm like, what makes the suit for males? My suit doesn't have a penis. I can't tell. They didn't like that argument. And so I went for it, right? And I didn't want to make a big deal. They gave me like talking points, like start off by saying that you're not gay and all these things. I'm like, no, I'm like, let me just, like, I'm not gonna say that. Just let me handle it. And it turned out to be like the best decision ever. It was like a 3-hour event before my category got up, and so I had time to write a speech. And by that time, I was so into it because it seemed like such a bad idea. I was so nervous going into the event. But up until that point, I'm like, this all makes sense. This show that I'm nominated for makes sense. And so when I won the award, that was awesome. I got to go up and I got to make my speech. And I'll give you a little snippet of it. I basically said, I'm like, this show that I won for, I'm like, none of you have probably seen it. Like, it shouldn't have existed. It's on this tiny local network, and they told us a lot of reasons why we couldn't do it. They said we couldn't do a show with an all-Asian cast. Like, that's not gonna happen. We can't do such taboo subjects. It was like a really dark show on local Canadian TV. They said we couldn't do that. They said we couldn't do 8 episodes, an entire first season with a budget of 1 episode. I'm like, we just said, why not? And then I looked at my agents. And then, just a little moment. And basically, the show paralleled me wearing the dress. Like, why not? Why can't we do these things? Who says we can't? If that's what you want to do, just do it and be authentic to yourself, right? And let me tell you, I thought I was going to get at least half of what they were expecting. 0. I had so many people run up to me and just say, I just want to say, love the outfit, love that you have the courage to do it. Like, I wish I knew that I could do it too. You know, and I had that the entire night. And I don't know, it was just nice to see how many people felt so confined and restricted to this tiny little box that they thought, you know, all males had to wear suits, all females had to wear, you know, dresses, and, you know, to have someone kind of step out, I think it was just nice to just show people, even like professionals in the industry that have been there for years, just like, oh yeah, we're allowed to be individuals. That's kind of what this whole thing is about. You know, we're making movies about real people. We're not just trying to be cookie cutters of each other. So that was really powerful, and it takes practice. It's a hard thing to do, and you know, even me doing it all the time, I still get nervous. There's a part of my head that just makes me do it anyways. Just says, just trust that there's going to be a floor with every step that you take until there's not. But haven't gotten there yet. You know, you have to take risks. Where there's risk, there's reward. But there's also risk. So you kind of have to like be smart about it. Take educated risks. Take calculated risks. Don't just leap off of every building hoping there's another one to catch you, right? And the more you do it, the more it doesn't seem so scary. But I know, I think it, like everything, it just takes practice. And for me, I really practice it. The scariest decisions that I've made in my life has always turned out to be like the best ones. So far so good. At some point, it's probably gonna bite me in the ass. Hi.
Hi. So before I ask my question, I just really wanted to quickly say I think you're a superhero. I think you're damn incredible, and I want you to know that. Second, I wanted to ask you, since we all know Kevin is the nerdy, geeky, you know, cute guy that we all fall in love with, what would you like to see him come back as if he had to come back as an evil character?
Come back as evil. I mean, in my head, Kevin is an angel, and I don't know, evil, a vengeful angel? That'd be pretty cool. I don't know. I've like 2 years ago, I decided I would stop trying to predict what we're going to do on the show. And that has served me very well. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we have a new showrunner. Robert Singer's back. A bunch of new writers. And whatever direction they go with the show, you know, Corelli's son. So all of a sudden, it was like, oh, Kevin, you've been my adopted son all along. That'd be really weird. I got reincarnated. I mean, I would not be against that. I don't know. I don't like to speculate on the show, because the last time I did that, I said, someone asked me, like, if Kevin were to die, how would he die? And I said, for maximum drama, Sam kills Kevin. And then, oh no! We all know how that happened. So, I'm gonna stop speculating on this show. You're welcome.
How was it, Osric?
It was good.
Big stage?
Yeah, big stage.
Big crowd.
A lot of audience.
Big interview. Osric Chau is going to come tonight to karaoke. And I know for a fact he's dressing up as something awesome, and I'm excited about that. Don't say it. No spoilers.
Okay, right. No spoilers.
And then tomorrow, when this band moves from the side of the stage to the center of the stage and takes over for the Saturday night special, this man will be joining them for a few songs. We're excited about that tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you got lots of Osric Chau coming up, and we can never have enough Chau. Ladies and gentlemen, say goodbye, but not so long, to Mr. Osric Chau. Friday people. My Friday people.
Thank you for the hearts.
How you doing? You loving it? It's just getting started. You people, you think you're tired now. How many of you are coming to karaoke tonight? many of you are dressing up for karaoke tonight? Not bad. Can't wait to have you here doing your thing. Right now, this band that has been backing up all the actors for the day is going to take center stage themselves and play for you a song. Loudon Swain is the backbone of this weekend, and they do an event tomorrow night that is, I think, the anchor of the whole weekend. It's the Saturday night special. Trust
I gotta
me,
charge
I
my
say this
phone,
not
guys.
for myself, 'cause I have very
Sorry,
little to
I'll
do with
see you
it. I
later
just
tonight
love
for
what they do,
karaoke.
and it's an amazing night. Do yourself a favor, be here tomorrow night.